This is Dinar Shift, and we begin today with a profound development that has reverberated across the global financial landscape, originating from the highest monetary authority in Baghdad. A recent official announcement from the Central Bank of Iraq, the CBI, has electrified discussions everywhere, from the ancient marketplaces of Iraq's major cities to the sophisticated financial centers in Europe, the Gulf, and North America. This moment is marked by a palpable surge of energy and widespread curiosity, signaling a shift in the Iraqi Dinar narrative that has been absent for a substantial period. We are not speaking of the usual circulating rumors or speculative chatter. This is a concrete progression of monetary developments coming directly from the heart of the nation's financial policymaking body. The ripple effects of this news are undeniable and fast, commanding serious attention from institutional observers worldwide. For those who have closely followed the multi-year story of the Iraqi dinar and questioned when, or if the long-anticipated strengthening of the currency would finally materialize, the latest update from the CBI could be interpreted as the most significant indication to date. It is a moment that demands careful consideration, and we encourage you to stay with this report in its entirety, as the nuanced details are essential to grasping the full scope of what is unfolding. The central bank's communication this past week signifies a critical inflection point in Iraq's economic trajectory, and the sheer volume of the international response confirms that the world is indeed keenly focused on Iraq's moves. We aim to break down this complex situation with clarity, impartiality, and accuracy, ensuring every citizen and global observer can understand the magnitude of this financial moment, because the recent news is truly transformative in its potential implications. The foundation of this burgeoning narrative lies in an exceptionally bold declaration issued by the Central Bank of Iraq. This kind of confident, assertive language is rarely deployed in official public statements by the CBI, which is typically characterized by its cautious, measured, and highly technical terminology. The institution's latest official communication openly stated that the Iraqi dinar is now entering a decisive new stage focused on recovery, expansive development, and enhanced international recognition. Specifically, the CBI underscored its goal for the dinar to secure a more prominent and internationally respected position within the global economic framework. When a body as influential as the central bank chooses to use such strong, forward-looking rhetoric, it is an unmistakable signal that captures the immediate attention of the entire nation, major financial institutions, sophisticated market observers, and crucially the everyday Iraqi citizen. This deliberate choice of strong terminology has sparked an immediate and widespread reaction across the country, creating an electric atmosphere of anticipation. National media platforms quickly illuminated with breaking news reports and detailed analyses of the CBI statement. Local shop owners and business leaders began engaging in deeper, more pointed discussions about the implications for commerce. Online, across various social platforms, thousands of threads and communities erupted, all fixated on the same central question: has Iraq's lengthy, strategic buildup finally culminated in the moment everyone has been waiting for? Is this the true dawn of the dinar's projected financial comeback? That collective feeling of intense anticipation is now building like a powerful surging wave, showing no immediate signs of slowing its momentum, as people seek to understand the practical consequences of this major announcement on their daily lives and the nation's economy. The reaction within Iraq itself can only be described as explosive, yet remarkably constructive. If you were to visit a bustling cafe in Baghdad today, the CBI's announcement would undoubtedly be the primary topic of conversation among customers. Step into one of the ancient, vibrant markets in cities like Najaf or Karbala, and you would hear vendors and merchants engaged in deep debate over the potential next phases of the monetary policy. Banks across the country are reporting a significantly higher volume of walk-in traffic from citizens seeking straightforward clarification regarding the currency's announced direction. Furthermore, currency exchange houses are encountering more individuals focused on gaining factual information about rate expectations, or simply asking if a substantial material change is finally on the horizon. This type of broad, spontaneous public engagement is a powerful indicator that the people of Iraq perceive a genuinely significant process to be underway, moving past mere speculation. What is perhaps the most telling observation from the ground is the noticeable shift in public sentiment. Citizens who may have expressed deep skepticism in the past are now closely scrutinizing every official development. Conversely, those who have long maintained a hopeful vision for a national financial resurgence now feel that their optimism is finally aligning with concrete reality. The most profound sign of this transformation is the tone of the public dialogue. People are speaking with a sense of excitement and renewed pride, rather than the anxiety or wariness that once dominated financial conversations. For the first time in a long period, Iraqis are openly discussing their national currency with a palpable sense of dignity and confidence. This psychological and cultural shift in attitude, symbolizing a widespread buy-in to the reform agenda, represents one of the strongest possible non-numerical indicators of the nation's readiness for change. A key and fascinating aspect of the CBI's recent announcement is its direct link to Iraq's comprehensive and multi-year digital transformation project. For well over a year, the central bank has been diligently and often quietly working to overhaul and modernize the entire national financial ecosystem. This massive undertaking includes the establishment of state-of-the-art digital payment infrastructure, The implementation of electronic settlement and clearance systems, full adherence to global banking compliance and anti-money laundering standards, and a significant upgrade to widespread cybersecurity defenses across the banking sector. These efforts were not sporadic. They were meticulously planned, strategic steps, and the CBI is now publicly explaining their fundamental purpose. All of these foundational reforms were specifically designed to prepare the country for a stronger, internationally compatible, and globally respected dinar. For any nation to successfully integrate its currency into global commerce, the entire domestic financial engine must be rigorously fortified, seamlessly synchronized, and built to meet or exceed established international benchmarks. This is precisely the preparatory work Iraq has been executing behind the scenes, largely out of the public eye, until this recent wave of transparency. The Central Bank of Iraq is no longer reserved about its ambitious goals. They are now speaking openly and with conviction about the deliberate restoration of the dinar's intrinsic strength. The sheer scale and success of their recent financial infrastructure upgrades serve as compelling, material evidence that they have been methodically preparing the national financial system for a transition of genuinely significant and lasting proportions, demonstrating a commitment to moving away from old, cash-based methods. One of the most revealing data points embedded within the CB's overarching strategy relates directly to the nation's foreign currency reserves. Iraq currently maintains reserves that's the impressive 100 billion mark. This figure is not merely large. It is a staggering accumulation that positions Iraq ahead of most other nations in the Middle East and many others across the world in terms of reserve strength. The importance of this massive reserve stockpile cannot be overstated. Substantial foreign reserves provide a central bank with enormous, tangible power to support, stabilize, and defend a strengthening national currency. When a central bank possesses deep and liquid reserves, it has the capacity to sustain public and market confidence, skillfully manage exchange rate adjustments during transitional phases, and maintain critical market equilibrium as major monetary changes are rolled out. Accumulating this robust financial safety net has been a strategic, years-long endeavor for Iraq. Now, with the nation's reserves reaching historic, unprecedented highs, the CBI and the government feel they have the necessary financial backing to confidently initiate the next phase of their monetary plan. The precise timing of this substantial buildup in reserves, perfectly coinciding with the period leading up to the new, highly optimistic CBI announcement, has naturally ignited focused attention and raised substantial questions across the international financial community. Analysts and economists are now openly discussing what Iraq is meticulously preparing to unveil next, recognizing that this level of financial readiness is a prerequisite for any major currency revaluation or comprehensive monetary restructuring. Another critical development that ties directly into the announced reforms involves the strategic and systematic removal of larger banknote denominations from general circulation. Over the past several months, numerous commercial banks and primary currency supply centers within Iraq have consistently noted a steady decrease in the circulation of the largest notes, specifically the 25,000 and 50,000 dinar notes. These high-value notes were originally introduced and became necessary during years when the economy experienced higher inflation and the nation's financial system was under intense, prolonged duress. However, as Iraq's national economic stability has demonstrably improved and solidified, the practical utility of these oversized, cumbersome notes has naturally diminished in the modern economy. In virtually all contemporary robust economies, the prevalent use of smaller denominations often serves as a key indicator of stronger intrinsic currency value and increased purchasing power. The deliberate action of gradually withdrawing these oversized notes is generally considered a calculated, strategic step undertaken by central banks that are actively preparing to implement a significant strengthening of their monetary systems. This move clearly signals the impending arrival of a new, more stable chapter, one where citizens will transition to using smaller, more practical and internationally compliant bills that correspond with a healthier, normalized exchange rate environment. The convergence of this observable action with the CBI's recent public confirmation of forthcoming new monetary instruments makes this particular development exceedingly notable and difficult for any observer to dismiss as coincidental. The conversation must now shift to a major policy objective: international integration of the Iraqi dinar. As guided by the new, resolute direction articulated by the central bank, Iraq is aggressively moving to re-establish the dinar's functional role in conducting international settlements and cross-border transactions. For an extended period, Iraq's international financial dealings were heavily reliant on the US dollar, primarily because the dinar lacked the full preparedness, recognition, and integration necessary to facilitate seamless international exchange. That long-standing dynamic is now fundamentally changing as a direct consequence of Iraq's aggressive digital banking reform initiative. These deep-seated reforms have successfully connected Iraqi banks directly to secure, global financial networks, making the dinar far more compatible with complex international payment systems. This transition is not a superficial, cosmetic upgrade. It represents a foundational transformation of the nation's financial architecture. When a sovereign nation actively and publicly begins preparing its currency to be the functional instrument for international trade, it signals a clear, unambiguous expectation. They anticipate the currency will imminently become significantly more valuable, liquid, and trustworthy in the eyes of the global financial world. International financial analysts have already recognized the seriousness of this groundwork. While the CBI has not yet disclosed the precise new exchange rate, the comprehensive and detailed framework they are describing suggests that Iraq is nearer to a major structural transition than at any point in its recent history, focusing on building long-term, stable value. On the ground in the capital, subtle but important changes have reportedly been noted by various government employees. There are credible reports suggesting that several governmental departments have received advance notice that the future structure for their employee salary disbursements may transition toward an exclusive use of the Iraqi dinar, effectively phasing out the previous use of US dollar components entirely. This strategic move is designed to forcefully solidify and bolster national confidence in the local currency, which is vital for long-term monetary stability. Furthermore, it serves as an overt signal from the government that it expects its citizens to rely entirely on the dinar rather than seeking or holding foreign currency alternatives. To facilitate this coming change, multiple government ministries have reportedly begun implementing specialized training programs. These programs are designed to thoroughly prepare administrative and accounting staff for the impending adjustments in payment systems, the widespread deployment of new digital banking platforms, and the various revised financial procedures expected to be rolled out across the entire governmental structure very soon. These are not the minimal, reactive preparations one would observe for routine administrative updates. On the contrary, these are the extensive, proactive measures that a government undertakes only when it is fully certain that a transition of profound national economic significance is on its immediate horizon, requiring total systemic readiness and coordination across all sectors. One of the most constructive and resounding reactions to the comprehensive CBI update has come from the immense community of business owners throughout Iraq. A wide range of enterprises, including shopkeepers, restaurant chains, active real estate brokers, and major transportation companies, are now expressing a collective and tangible wave of rising optimism about the future. Many business leaders vividly recall the challenging years when pervasive economic uncertainty made strategic planning nearly impossible. Market prices were highly volatile, transaction systems were outdated and prone to failure, and many establishments were forced to operate using a dual system of both dinar and dollar transactions just to maintain some semblance of operational functionality. Today, however, these same business owners report a powerful sense of financial clarity and renewed confidence steadily returning to the local markets. The official, repeated talk of a significantly stronger dinar has successfully restored faith in the intrinsic value of local commerce and investment. Individuals and corporate entities that had previously been hesitant to commit to long-term capital investments are actively reconsidering their positions. Those who had put business expansion plans on hold are now exploring opportunities for growth with renewed vigor. Crucially, many small to medium enterprises feel a sense of hope they have not experienced in years, operating under the assumption that a strengthened dinar will stabilize prices, reduce their exposure to unpredictable foreign currency fluctuations, and ultimately serve as a robust catalyst for sustainable national economic growth that benefits all layers of society. A significant ripple effect from the central bank's authoritative announcement has been observed among currency exchangers and various financial service providers. These professionals are reporting a major increase in public engagement, with a greater number of customers arriving to ask highly specific, informed questions about new exchange mechanisms, the adoption of digital payments, and the legitimately expected rate changes. This sharp spike in focused public interest is a classic indicator that citizens are convinced a meaningful, impending change is about to take place within the monetary system. However, what is even more compelling is the qualitative change noted by these financial professionals. They are receiving substantially less rumor-based chatter and a far greater volume of factual, legitimate, and serious questions from a well-informed public. This noticeable pivot toward informed curiosity is an overwhelmingly positive indicator. It confirms that the Iraqi public is responding not from a place of fear or panic, but from a strategic stance of intelligent anticipation and calculated planning. Furthermore, it suggests that there is a growing and profound level of trust in the CBI's consistent direction and official communication, a level of confidence perhaps higher than in previous periods. As this vital public trust continues its upward trajectory, the entire foundation for a successful, stable, and widely accepted currency strengthening transition becomes exponentially more robust, ensuring the reform is not only implemented technically but embraced socially. The current moment achieves an even higher level of significance due to the intensive global attention Iraq is now attracting. Financial observation teams and institutional investors in key regions such as the Gulf states, established European markets, and North America are meticulously tracking these developments. This attention is not motivated by mere speculation or hype. It is driven by the undeniable fact that Iraq has emerged as an increasingly influential and indispensable player in global oil production, strategic energy partnerships, and the wider regional economy. A substantial, structural shift in the official value of the Iraqi dinar has the potential to impact intricate global import markets, alter established international trade lanes, and necessitate a revision of investment strategies across the globe given Iraq's resource importance. In financial centers worldwide, many major international banks utilize sophisticated, real-time rate monitoring systems that are instantaneously updated the moment a country officially announces a new currency value. Therefore, if and when the Central Bank of Iraq adjusts its official exchange rate, the entire global financial ecosystem will be aware of the change within a matter of minutes. This reality is precisely why the international financial community is observing the situation with such intense professional interest. A dinar that is both stable and strategically strengthened could fundamentally reshape deeply embedded economic relationships, not only throughout the Middle East but far beyond its regional borders, establishing a new order of financial interaction. Beyond the purely financial metrics, a powerful sense of national pride is visibly building throughout Iraq, especially as the official narrative shifts profoundly toward economic empowerment rather than the previous state of dependency. For many years, the persistently low exchange value of the dinar served as a painful, enduring symbol of the immense struggles Iraq faced, including internal conflict, prolonged political instability, and pervasive financial strain. Now, with the central bank projecting a united front of confidence and the government diligently reinforcing the nation's core economic pillars, the dinar is being transformed into a unifying symbol of national resurgence and resilience. Citizens who previously expressed deep frustration over the economic outlook are now openly voicing genuine hope for the future. Younger generations who grew up only hearing stories of protracted economic challenges are finally seeing tangible reasons to believe in the bright financial destiny of their country. Across all segments of society, families, dedicated teachers, and working professionals, there is widespread, hopeful discussion about the tangible possibility of using a nationally strong currency, one that truly reflects the vast, intrinsic wealth and potential of their nation. This emotional and cultural transformation, the shift from enduring struggle to empowered pride, is just as crucial and foundational as any technical financial adjustment occurring behind the scenes in Baghdad. Looking ahead, the next distinct phase, according to sources within Iraq's elite financial sector, will involve the launch of a comprehensive series of public awareness campaigns. These carefully structured campaigns are specifically designed to proactively guide the entirety of the Iraqi citizenry through the imminent transitions. This guidance will cover a range of changes, including the introduction of any new banknote designs, updates to digital banking procedures and platforms, and how to seamlessly navigate new, streamlined payment systems. Broad and effective public education is a critical, non-negotiable step for the success of any large-scale monetary reform initiative, ensuring stability. Both the government and the central bank are determined to ensure that every single citizen, from urban centers to remote areas, fully comprehends the changes taking place and, more importantly, knows how to safely and confidently navigate the new procedures. This educational effort will include essential lessons on how to authenticate and identify new banknote denominations, practical instruction on the use of electronic banking tools, and crucial warnings on how to identify and avoid common forms of financial fraud that can accompany major monetary transitions. Transparent, clear, and proactive communication is the best defense against public panic or confusion during periods of significant financial change. The fact that Iraq is actively preparing these widespread public campaigns now is a definitive signal that the structural transition is nearing its activation point. It underscores the CBI's unwavering focus on stability and its commitment to ensuring every Iraqi moves confidently into this new economic era. Among the most eagerly anticipated and talked about developments is the expected introduction of lower denomination banknotes. In any high-value, contemporary economy, lower-value notes become the prevalent, necessary instrument for facilitating daily commercial transactions because the underlying currency itself holds a significantly greater and more stable value. Iraq's historical reliance on the current slate of larger notes is an economic artifact, a lingering consequence left over from its years of financial volatility and economic stress. Should the dinar successfully achieve its projected strengthening, the shift toward smaller, more efficient bills will become a practical necessity of daily commerce. Financial experts and analysts anticipate that any future currency denominations will be meticulously designed to be easier to physically carry, simpler for citizens and merchants to utilize in everyday exchanges, and fully aligned with the technical and aesthetic standards of international currencies. This move will significantly aid businesses in streamlining their cash operations, allow banks to manage currency flow with far greater efficiency and security, and enable citizens to conduct routine daily purchases without the inconvenience of handling oversized, high-value notes for minor transactions. While the CBI has maintained its professional silence on the exact designs or final values of any new notes, the mere fact that they are now discussing this strategic transition publicly confirms that the design and preparatory process is already well underway within the specialized teams behind the scenes. The most dramatic and consequential moment in this entire process will be when the Central Bank of Iraq makes the final, official announcement regarding the new exchange value for the dinar. This pivotal announcement is expected to be executed with extreme precision, complete transparency, and in full, coordinated synchronicity with all major global financial platforms and international banking partners. The CBI's paramount goal is to ensure that this transition is perceived as stable, professionally managed, and unequivocally transparent to the entire world. When the new value is officially released, it will be immediately posted on the central bank's official website, displayed on banking screens across Iraq's domestic network, and instantaneously reflected on international financial platforms, including the critical rate tracking systems used by financial institutions worldwide. The entire international financial community will witness the shift simultaneously. This is the precise reason why numerous informed sources within Iraq's financial community consistently emphasize that the public does not need to pursue or depend on unverified rumors. When the real verifiable change is implemented, it will be impossible for anyone to miss. The Central Bank of Iraq will take all necessary measures to ensure the entire world is notified directly and officially. The professionalism and clarity surrounding this final announcement are crucial to instilling long-term confidence in the dinar's new established value and the stability of Iraq's financial sector in the global arena. Part of what distinguishes this particular moment of transition is the noticeable, deliberate silence and focused professionalism exhibited by government officials and financial personnel. Historically, when large-scale monetary reforms were a distant prospect, the period was often characterized by unauthorized leaks, internal disagreements, and public debates among politicians and bureaucrats. However, many key individuals who once spoke freely and openly on the topic have now adopted a strict professional silence. This particular type of governmental silence is not an accident, it is a clear operational indicator. It typically signals one thing: the work has moved decisively out of the planning stages and into the highly guarded execution phase. It is highly probable that all high-level policy decisions have already been made, complex technical systems have already been fully programmed and tested, and the precise timing for the official rollout has already been secured behind multiple layers of protective security. The government's primary concern at this late stage is ensuring a transition that is completely secure and free of any destabilizing speculation. Maintaining strict confidentiality around the most critical final details is a necessary component of this security protocol until the final official announcement is ready. In this context, this period of professional silence should be interpreted not as a sign of internal delay or disagreement, but rather as an undeniable indicator of profound, meticulous readiness and a focused commitment to a secure launch. Simultaneously, the Iraqi people are embracing this burgeoning sense of national hope and possibility with profound sincerity and open hearts. Social media discussions are saturated with conversations focused on the dinar's potential and the positive implications of a strengthening currency. Families across the country are discussing what a stable, strong currency could mean for the long-term future and opportunities of their children. University students are analytically reviewing the massive economic implications in their business and finance courses. And older generations, who retain vivid memories of a time when the dinar held strong international standing, are feeling a powerful and renewed sense of national pride and optimism. For countless Iraqis, this currency comeback represents far more than a simple financial adjustment. For the public, this resurgence symbolizes healing, progress, and a powerful sense of national unity and shared purpose. It encapsulates the deep-seated belief that Iraq can and will stand confidently and competently on the global economic stage as an equal player. For the everyday citizen who has courageously navigated years of acute economic uncertainty and personal challenge, that renewed belief in the nation's financial future is an immensely powerful, motivating and stabilizing force. It provides the moral and social energy needed to support the upcoming changes and ensure their successful adoption across all strata of Iraqi society, linking the financial future to the national destiny. Iraq's long, arduous road to reaching this pivotal moment has been anything but easy. The country has successfully confronted, endured, and overcome challenges that would likely overwhelm and defeat many other nations. Yet, time and again, Iraq has consistently demonstrated extraordinary resilience and an unwavering commitment to recovery. By systematically strengthening internal security, stabilizing complex governance structures, diligently improving its critical oil infrastructure, and most recently, profoundly modernizing its entire financial system, Iraq has rebuilt itself piece by piece, foundation by foundation. The dinar's impending comeback is the powerful culmination of many years of difficult, focused, and persistent hard work and national sacrifice. This development is a clear, undeniable symbol of Iraq actively taking back full control of its core economic destiny. Crucially, the international community is now fully recognizing and acknowledging this monumental progress. Financial analysts abroad are markedly shifting their tone from skepticism to respect. Major institutional investors who were once highly hesitant are now paying close, serious attention to the daily movements. Respected economists are beginning to discuss Iraq as a genuine, ascending regional economic power. All of these positive, external reactions are a direct and earned result of the central bank's latest authoritative announcement and the verifiable, undeniable progress that the Republic of Iraq has methodically achieved over the past several years, building a foundation of strength. As we look toward the immediate future, the core message remains universally simple and paramount. It is essential to stay fully informed, exercise patience, and rely exclusively on official updates. Citizens and global observers must not, under any circumstances, allow themselves to be distracted or misled by persistent rumors, unverified claims, or intentionally misleading information from non-official sources. When the Central Bank of Iraq has successfully completed its technical preparation and is fully ready to reveal the final, most critical details, they will issue a formal announcement with complete clarity, transparency, and public visibility. The people will not need to search for answers in obscure places. The final, accurate answers will come directly from the official sovereign source. When that momentous day finally arrives, the entire country of Iraq will experience this profound transition together. In real time, it will undoubtedly be recorded as one of the single most important and consequential events in modern Iraqi financial history, marking a decisive break from the volatility of the past. Before we conclude this report, it is vital to remember that the significance of this moment transcends mere economic figures and banking technicalities. It is fundamentally about the nation's identity, a restoration of national pride, and the deep-seated belief that Iraq is destined to rise, economically stronger and more unified than ever before. The Dinar comeback represents a powerful turning point, a time when the nation purposefully steps onto the global stage with undeniable confidence and a unified sense of purpose. Whether you are an Iraqi citizen living in the country or an interested observer watching this extraordinary evolution from across international borders, the systemic impact of this monumental change will be felt across trade lines, investment portfolios, and, most importantly, across generations. As the news of today's strategic moves continues to disseminate, the underlying financial and social energy only continues to build its unstoppable momentum. The Central Bank of Iraq has officially delivered its statement of intent. The complex structural reforms are actively being executed. The Iraqi people are expressing hope and anticipation. The sophisticated financial systems are fully prepared and operational, and the entire world is watching the next phase unfold. The dream of the Dinar's comeback is no longer a distant, theoretical goal. It is actively unfolding in real time, step by step, system by system, announcement by announcement. This is economic history in decisive motion. So, keep your focus laser sharp on the official developments, stay closely connected with the most reliable sources for accurate updates, and prepare for the final stage of this dramatic transformation. The future of the Iraqi dinar is undeniably brighter than it has been in decades, and the positive momentum is only growing stronger with each passing day. The shock waves from the recent CBI announcement are not diminishing, they are expanding across the nation and around the entire world, signaling a new era.